Hello everybody, it is Complex, and as requested in this video, I'll be explaining how to use my CSGO Investing Spreadsheet. A link to the spreadsheet will be in the description below. The link will direct you to a Google Drive file. Download this file and open it up in Microsoft Excel. Quick warning, do not try editing this file in Google Docs. Some Excel features cannot be displayed and will be removed if you edit them in the Google Docs version. When you open the worksheet, the Intro tab is the first page in the file. The intro sheet is a text version of this spreadsheet tutorial. But before we even get into the tutorial, if you incur any problems or have any suggestions, feel free to contact me at one of the following. There is my email, there is my Discord, and obviously feel free to leave a comment down below. I will get back to you guys as quick as I can. But you'll be entering data into three tabs: the skins, consumables, and miscellaneous pages. Even though these pages are locked, that doesn't mean you cannot edit them. Locked pages only mean that not all cells can be altered. Cells that are automatically calculated are protected, so you cannot accidentally hover over one of them and delete what's inside. This is the area you'll get. Just hit OK, and you can click around normally. If we go to the Skins tab, you will see that there's two different colors used as headers: light gray and light blue. Cells under the light gray columns can be, you can input data here, like normal. Cells under the light blue, you can't click in them. These are automatically calculated, so they don't want you deleting a formula here and accidentally messing it up if you were just trying to input data and went to the next cell. But I'm going to be inputting data on the skins worksheet as we go along through here, demonstrating what you can do, what you cannot do. The consumables tab is very, very similar without the floats, the stickers, and all the specialties that make skins different than one another. But I will start in column B, which is category. You need to provide the category to which your item belongs. The categories are also listed in the intro section. So in the skins tab, you type all entries about skins and agents. In consumables, here's the list that work here, and that covers all the CSGO items. So we are going to buy a skin, and it's going to be the AK Cartel, and we're going to input a few and just be looking out. I'm typing the word skin here every time, not skins, not skin space. Unfortunately, this is very specific that this does say skin because it's going to compare it to all other skins that you input into this file. So we're just going to put a few AK Cartels in, and I'm going to put them in a little differently. All right. Okay, we'll just put a normal entry in right here. Okay. The next columns you got are float and stickers. These columns are completely optional. You don't have to insert anything here. If you don't have any stickers, leave them blank. If you don't know the float of your item, you can leave it blank. I'm going to insert some floats here because I'm going to demonstrate what you can do if floats are entered into the spreadsheet. I'm just going to mix them up. So we're going to say that's 0.03, this one's 0.05, this one 0.12, and this one is 0.57. So we just gave some random floats, and obviously you could go as all the decimals that you wanted to, just make it more individual to this item. I'm going to say none of my items that I'm buying have stickers, so I'm just going to skip all these columns and move over to the buying info. First it asks what date did you buy this item, and I'm just going to say I bought all of these items on the 1st of the month. So I've been holding these for about a month now, and obviously I probably, if I had the spreadsheet then, I would input them as soon as I got them so I can remember some of this information. Then that's going to ask you for the bought market, and the reason this column is important is because this spreadsheet keeps track of website balances, and it keeps track of the market options. So these are the values that are allowed to be inserted into those columns that it will detect. If you have another website that you guys love using and you just think it's like the greatest thing ever, let me know in the comments below, and I can I have some spaces open and I can add a few extra websites that you guys use. But right now I'm just gonna say that we bought all of these from Steam. Steam's kind of the universal market, so we bought all these from Steam. Then we're gonna say how many we bought. And for these, I'm going to say, we only bought one of them because we have a float. But I do want to add, a curveball here to really demonstrate what this file can do. So I'm actually going to add a new entry. I'm going to say we bought another cartel. I'm actually going to leave the float blank this time. And we'll buy this on the same day. And we're gonna buy from Steam, but we're gonna buy 5 of them. That's why we don't know the floats of all 5 of these, but we just know we're gonna buy 5 of these skins, and it'll be really sick. Obviously, you might know the where, but you're at least buying 5 of these things. And now we're gonna input the price. That's what it means, dollars each. We're buying these for $10 a piece. We spent $50 because we bought 5 of them. So that's all the information about buying. It's also going to give us our min sale price. So before we sell, we need to sell these for $11.76 on Steam to get our $10 back. So with Steam fees, it's going to take 15%. So you need to at least get $11.76. Obviously, the total is going to be different for our last entry here because we bought 5 of them. So we need to sell $50.82 if we want to get $50 back that we spent. And no matter what you do, unfortunately, the min sale is always going to calculate it to sell on Steam, which I view as a good thing because Steam typically does have the highest fees, and that means, if you can sell it at least at this price, you're going to be doing pretty well on it. Now we're going to get into the sales info right over here. And again, I'm going to leave some blank. I'm going to input some data here, so I'm going to try to make it as normal as you would get. So this first one, I'm just not gonna sell it yet. Say it was really special. I'm gonna change the float right now, right? I'm gonna make this like a quadruple 0-1 float. So we're not selling that for a very long time. So we're just not gonna put any data here. But these ones were all ready to sell, and say we sold them a day or so ago. And let's put that date in there. And yeah, you can copy and paste it. I'm just gonna type them out real quick here. But we're selling all these, and we're gonna sell them on Steam. You can sell them wherever you want out of the options listed. This one we'll even sell on Skinport, right? It works. Then we're gonna need to say how many we sold. So these ones we can only sell one, but we got a little conundrum here. We have 5 of them. How many do we want to sell? Let's just say we want to sell 3 of them, right? We want to keep a few because maybe we just want a few down the line. Maybe we can get some of our profits right now, and we'll just sit on those long term. So we're only going to sell 3, and you can see right over here it already knows we still have 2 of them left, right? We cannot forget about these last 2 skins. They do not disappear. Then it wants us to know how much we listed them for. So obviously you shouldn't be listing, or hopefully you shouldn't be listing for anything below your minimum each value. So let's just say we wanted to sell these at 15 per, and they somehow sold. All right. It's going to give us, with Steam fees. So, let's change that. Say Skinport has some cheaper fees. We save some money selling there. So we got $12.75 from Steam. We got $13.50 from Skinport. That is very important. So we, total sales equal, because we only bought 1. But since we bought 3, we got $40.50. So, that would have been a pretty good purchase, saying that we sold 2 of them. And we're only $10 shy. But then it provides us a lot of feedback on our profit. It tells us how long we've been sitting on that item. So we sat on this item for 24 days, and we made a profit of $2.75 per item, of $3.50 here. And total profit, we only made $2.75 because we owned 1, but total profit here we made $10.50 for those 3. And as I said earlier, your amount remaining column right here, we have this 1 because we don't want to sell this. And we have 2 here. In a lot of spreadsheets, they kind of stop here, but I wanted to include a feature that allowed you to resell these 3. So how do you do that is the question. That is what this note is on here. So in case you ever forget, this note basically tells you how to resell those items. But it's pretty simple. You just type the letter Y into that column, and that's going to reset. You saw, that 2 disappeared. Then we're going to go back up here, and we're just going to copy the cartel there, and we're going to copy all this data down. Again, you can just copy paste it. Sometimes I find it easier to just type it out, but I'm going to leave the marketplace blank because, we're not buying it again. We just have two of them, We got to tell the spreadsheet, this is another entry because we have two of these. And if you don't like leaving blank cells, you can just type in remaining or, leftover or just some, mental clue. I'm okay with leaving it blank. We're going to do that. And just tell them again, this is how much I spent for them because this is pretty important when it comes to determining profit. It's, the spreadsheet's not going to think you were charged this much. Don't worry about it, all right? So then, you can just import your sales data as normal. So, say, a few days later on this date that doesn't even exist yet, you sold more to Steam this time. And let's just say you sold one again. You want to keep one for later. Steam had 15% fees. All your data is calculated and you have one. And you can repeat this process as many times as you like. Say you started at like 100, you could sell one by one, and there would be absolutely no problems with that if you wanted to take up all those rows and sell one by one. It will calculate it as many times as you insert data. But that's pretty much the inputting data into CSGO skins. And again, consumables is very, very similar, so I'm not even going to mention this. I'm just going to hop quickly into the miscellaneous tab. And I won't go too much into detail, and you guys already see I just input some random data here. It's very similar to skins and consumables, but it's not about CSGO. This is just other transactions that you should have made. So you guys see that, I bought a Steam game on, again, a made-up date for $10, and you guys have to tell it, Steam gave me a 5% fee, so I really paid $10.50, and, I got a donation the other day for $5, but PayPal takes a fee of this, so I got this. This is going to help keep track of your website balances because, your Steam balance is often not just determined by CSGO skins. If you spend some of that money on a game, it's gone, and the spreadsheet needs to know that. And again, I have some notes on here as, reminders that some people could forget, and that will be available to you in the spreadsheet version. But then let's go over to portfolio. And this portfolio is an active sheet. You can edit everything here. This is not locked, so you can go type in whatever cell, and I did this for a few reasons. When you refresh these, you right click and refresh. This keeps track of how many skins that you currently own, or how many stickers you currently own, and it sorts it based on you putting items into these categories. That's why it's really important that you type these correctly, or they might not show up. But the first thing you noticed is that there were two different versions of AK Cartel. And I left this showing a 0 here to demonstrate this because, we did sell it. But I just wanted to show out that if you type it in differently, I'm not going to say either version is correct. Yeah, maybe this one's, more standard. But if you want to type with spaces in between, you can. Just stay consistent, right? So it knows. But, really quickly, we're going to select multiple, and we're going to get rid of that 0 right there. Now it only shows us what we have, and there are some cool things that we can do. And again, this is all, you guys can edit all of this, but I'm gonna, hide the field list for a second. You saw that over there. But if you want to edit some filters here, if you just right click anywhere on this table and show field list, this is kind of how they're created. And you can see any value that you want to here. If you don't want to just see how many you have, but how much you paid for them or how much you sold them for, you can insert them as values or rows or columns, however the information makes sense to you. But there's a reason I input some of the floats back in skins, and why I did the skins column is, what if you want to know the floats? You want to know the AK cartels by floats, and you can take your float value, put it into rows down here, and it's going to show you have one really nice float AK and one is blank because, well, you don't know what it is, right? You don't know. You never told it, so it's going to tell you, I don't know either. But more so than float, you're going to have a lot of different floats, right? If we didn't sell all of these, and let's go delete some data here, right? Say we didn't sell these right here. There we go. We're just going to delete that too. Say we have all these remaining. If we go back to the portfolio and refresh, you're never going to have a float that goes against each other. So what we can do, instead of doing float, let's do where, because we're going to have 2 factory news, and we're going to have 1 battle scarred. And while we're at it, let's fix this guy, right? Let's make him show up like all the others. And again, you can just refresh it as many times as you like. Now we have 3 factory new, 1 battle scarred, 7, missing. If you ever want to input these, you can. But right now it's just going to say, we don't know. So you have 7 that, don't fit into one of the wares. And that's just, a small thing you can do. If you don't want to see the wares, just take it away. It just shows you, you have this many. If you want to sort it by stickers and show stickers, you can show stickers. Obviously, again, I didn't put data in here, so it doesn't make sense. But all these things along the right-hand side, if you wanted to just randomly look at the fees and how much fees you paid for each, I bought, there was 5 with the 10%, 6 with the 15%. You can do any that you want. And the portfolio continued. Just has more of these charts. Again, they're all divided up. Agents has its own, patches has its own, pins have its own, and that's why it's really important that you always have one of these in here. And you can just type them below here, case, if you're not buying any case at the moment and you just want all your tops to be stickers, but these are already set up to filter it correctly. So to save, some work for you and not having to really get into this if you don't want to, it might just be easier to leave those data how they are. But that's the portfolio. Now we're going to get to my favorite part of the spreadsheet, and that's the Statistics tab. The Statistics tab is a comprehensive review of your investments by categories. This document keeps track of how much you have currently spent, total, which is really important. But if you want to see the breakdown, I have spent apparently $110 in skins based on what I told it, and it'll tell you by stickers, cases, capsules, everything that we put into the spreadsheet. It'll tell you the total. So if we go really quickly, let's go sell one of our skins again. Unfortunately, we deleted these, datas here, but let's sell one on Steam, and let's just sell one for $50 this time. Let's just go crazy. It now knows that we sold something, but obviously our total invested, that's still up there because it doesn't keep track of what you sold, and obviously it knows that we made $32.50 off our skins. And again, it'll do it for each, and it'll just give you one number at the bottom. It also keeps track of how many items you own based on those same categories. Right now we own 10 skins. Obviously everything else is 0 because we didn't care to input any of those data. Obviously take your time, inputting everything, and you'll get your correct numbers. Here we have website balances, and to get your website balances up, right now it says we have negative $58. That's obviously incorrect. You need to put in a beginning balance. So that's actually right here. If you can see, this is an invisible 0. We need to say what our beginning balance was. A lot of the times you're not going to be starting at 0. You're going to be inputting these investments, when your Steam balance is $62.12, right? So let's just put in a random number, $62.12. It just makes it invisible. So now it's going to calculate those, numbers based on this starting price. And again, you can make it whatever you like. If you are starting at $0, that is the default value. And you know what? Sometimes, unfortunately, you might not know this value. You bought a lot of investments in the past, and you're just starting to input them. Then you will have to calculate this at the end. If you know your Steam balance right now is at $2, and you're at negative 58, we'll just type in 60. Get it to $2 right now. Because then obviously, if I sell something on Steam, and I'm just going to skip out putting dates for, 50, it should go up by 42.5, which it does, right? So get it to work the first time. Again, this note is there. It's stuff that, are often missed in the spreadsheet, but this will allow you to keep track of your balances. That's why the miscellaneous tab over here is so important. We wouldn't know that we spent $10.50 for a Steam game if we didn't tell the spreadsheet so. Some of the other stuff it has in here are some website links over here. You don't have to use these. I know everyone wants to be safe for links, but these are just some of the databases and website links. You can go look up these on your own if you don't want to click these, but I do promise, I just went to the website and copied it myself. You can click on these. You can actually alter them as well, but these all do work, and they'll send you to whatever location. You obviously see a lot of charts beneath us, and this is the current CSGO investment portfolio breakdown. This will show you, where did all your items come from. This big graph on the left, we bought everything from Steam, right? So everything 100% from Steam. If we change that up, You might get a little bit of orange from buff, and let's go change it up. Let's add some buff here. Let's add a traded.gg, and again, you can do whatever. We go back to our statistics, and boom, it knows that we have some data from traded.gg in here. And obviously buff, it doesn't know because, well, we sold it, so it is doing its job because this is current CSGO. If you want the all-time CSGO, you just scroll down, and that's where you see the buff orange shade come into play, and now you will see every single item that you've ever owned will be here. This is just what you currently have, and you have 80% of your items from Steam. Let's see our breakup of Steam. This is the Steam graph. So of your 87% Steam, 86% of them are skins. And yes, we have this for every single site that is supported, all the way down to the end. And obviously, if you don't like the charts, you can just look at the numbers. This is the number breakdown, which creates this graph. And again, the nice part is all of this is done automatically. The only thing you have to change, the only thing you can change in this portion is your website balances. These columns right here. So once you change these, you never have to change anything else again. It'll manually update this all for you. The only things that you should ever be entering into this spreadsheet should be skins, consumables, and miscellaneous. Portfolio, yeah, you can mess around with it, go to your field list and organize by these, but you should never be, inserting something else here, unless, for whatever reason you find out something that you also want calculated. But that basically is my CSGO spreadsheet. But before I do end this video, I want to address one common request, and that is current price columns. A lot of people say, before you sell, they would like a current price of the item. And unfortunately, that is not in this spreadsheet. Personally, I find the result of this formula to be buggy and very misleading. If it said that it's currently worth 1172, that doesn't tell you about the supply of these listed on the market, whether there's 5 of them or 500 of them. It doesn't tell you the number sold in the past 24 hours. If only one sells every 24 hours, your item might not sell at that price. If 500 of them sold in the past 24 hours, that's a lot more likely. And it doesn't also show you the buy orders. If manipulation is causing the market prices to go up, the actual price of the item might be a lot lower normally than what it currently is. So I decided not to have it in my spreadsheet. Eventually, maybe I could insert it here, but I always suggest going to the Steam community market, looking at the graphs, looking at the buy orders, looking at all that data, because that is where you're going to make your best purchases and your best sales. And again, if you have any questions on any of the information covered in this video, feel free to contact me. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, hitting that like button. Let me know that you enjoyed, learning and then eventually using this spreadsheet. But that's it for this video. Good luck investing, and I'll see you in the next video.